Stihl O29, O39, MS290, MS310, MS390. Basically all the same animal with a different cylinder, jug, top end, clamshell, if you will. 6 torque screws and 2 5mm nuts to get to this point. This is easy to do, and I'm going to walk you through it. We're replacing the crankcase impulse or pulse line, which is this, and the fuel line, which is this. Now, on the fuel line, you'll notice that on this part right here there is a flat on that fuel line, and that's how you know how to install it correctly. Your new fuel line, there will be a flat which is right here, and that will go along this molded piece right here, and that helps you install it correctly. It gives the below portion the correct curvature to go down in the tank. It's on the bottom right hand side of the tank. It's where your pickup will be. Obviously you'll have a weighted fuel filter on that, and that is ideal for stumping or flush cutting. The saw's on its side. So anyway, down to this point, fairly easy. The most difficult part of getting this to this point is getting this AV bushing out of the tank assembly, which goes through right here, and we may or may not do that in a later video, show you how that goes. But we're going to pull out the impulse line. This is going to be throwaway, so just reach in there and pull it off like that right there. That's out. Now I've already turned the saw on its side and removed the fuel filter, which is this. It's on the end of this line inside the tank. Take you a piece of wire, a screwdriver, or one of these and fish it out, pull it off, no problem. Install a new line, new filter, and you'll be ready to go. Same process here, pulling it out. If you tear it up, it's no big deal, you're replacing it. Okay. Go slowly so you don't sling any fuel or fuel residue in your own eyes. Okay, there we go. I'll set those to the side so we don't accidentally pick them up and reinstall them. Before you do all this, blow everything out, wipe it out, do the best you can do, keep all this stuff clean. Notice I did not remove any of the wiring. Wiring is still hooked up, and we did push the intake boot through the plastic body of the rear handle. Now reinstallation, push it right in and take a dull bladed screwdriver and push the shoulder of that into the tank housing. I felt sort of a click when it went in there. Rotate this so you can see it. Now the flat side of that hose on the rubber lines up with this flat. I hope you're seeing that. There's a molded flat right there, cast flat. That's how that goes. Now on the inside, inside that little black hole right there, we'll try to illuminate it for you. Yeah, there's a nipple on the back side of that crankcase. See if I can point to it for you. Right there. That's coming off the cylinder, or the crankcase, below the cylinder. That's where the new impulse hose goes. You just press that onto there. It goes this way like that, and this part pokes through the rear handle assembly. Alright, that's installed. Alright, put it all back together. Move the camera just a little bit, and we'll go to work on it. Alright, fuel line just kind of slips through there, no problem. The pulse line itself is probably not the most difficult, but one of the more difficult. You've got to pull it through, pull the shoulder through so that the carb presses against it. Alright, it's in. And you'll feel both of those. I said feel. You'll feel them slip through when they're installed correctly. Begin to feed this wiring back through. Alright. Now this yellow wire goes up like this, and then there is a male and female spay connector. Just slip those together. There's that, and then slip the kill wire in position. Alright, there's that. Okay, now The hardest part, as I told you, we'll hook that back up right now on camera. Alright. Right here, this bushing has to go in this, well, it's an AV mount, so what they're called. Just slip it right back up through here. Not extremely difficult, but probably, as we've said, the most difficult part of this process, which is not too difficult. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and reinstall everything else. These are T27 Torx, 6 of them. Don't over tighten anything until you've got everything in and snug, and then start tightening them. Help line everything up. We've got 4 or 5 on this side and 2 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 on the bottom. So that's a total of 7 screws. Told you wrong earlier. Like they're lined up. This saw in particular, I don't know how many hours is on it, but it's a bunch. Still running. It's just becoming a little stubborn on restarts. So I decided to replace impulse, fuel line, fuel filter, and rebuild the carb. Again, things that are simple to do. And we got 2 screws right here, and we're done, with the exception of installing the filter and the carb. Now, this saw gets a bad rap for being hard to work on. Dealerships, at the time I was involved with this, were getting between $40 and $60 an hour labor, and it's just not, for the owner of the saw, it's not, but depending on, you know, what you want, how much money you got to spend. Cost prohibitive, but with a little practice anybody can do this, including people with not a lot of mechanical skills. It's not that hard to do. Alright, now that bushing that I had difficulty with at the first should be much easier to work with now. Almost got it. There we go. Popped in place. I'll get you in closer, you can see that's how it looks properly installed. Now we're finished. Now the fuel line itself kill line snaps in place right here, and the fuel line lays right in here. And then when you go in with the carburetor aligns the pulse line and then the intake for the fuel. They line right up and go together. Alright, thank you for watching.